6 takes, never thought I'd be there right by my side, man. What a time it is to be alive. See, I'm charged up, feeling energized, build an enterprise, move supersize. Y'all lecture like a side of fries. Whoa, false guys who you idolize. Yeah, go against us, I would not advise. We the highest in the room, just look up once and you can find us. Our songs should have more plays, but we too dope, they rewind us. All my targets lined up, every day my girl get fined up. All my clothes is local, bitch, I really rock designer.
Let's go. We are back with a very special episode 3 of the Canna Kuyas. What's up, Mitch? Why don't you say hi?
What's up, everybody? I'm Mitch Narito.
Now, I'm gonna give a little intro to the person that is sitting next to us. It is a very special guest and another Canna Kuya, JUNO Award nominee. Yo, this cat is... He's doing big things in the Filipino-Canadian comedy community. But he's sitting right next to us right here in LA, so he's invading America, and now he's on the Canna Kuya podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and Pinoys, welcome, Keith Pedro.
That's a fire intro, gentlemen.
I'm a good intro person.
Damn, bro. This guy. Woo, shit.
No, man, I've been watching you online. I've been watching not even just your growth, just how prolific you are online with the jokes, with everything, with the content, with podcasts. You're everywhere, and I'm just happy to have you here with us today.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. I mean, I've been trying to fuck with you for a hot minute, so it just happened. And you're like, yo, we got this weed podcast. I'm like, say less. Yes. Say less. If you follow my stories and on my Instagram, I'm always getting doing cannabis reviews and shit like that. So people are always telling me stuff. I was a big fan of legalization when it happened. So
Now in Canada, when did it happen? When was that?
2019.
2019. So okay. And that recreationally legal, right?
So there was a weird gray area.
Okay.
It was a weird gray area where you kind of like how New York was for a bit. I think New York is like that now, where it would just have these shops just open, but they couldn't,
So they'd be open for a little bit, and then
they just get raided. But they're allowed to just be open, but they had some laws, so there was all these gray areas. But the thing about it was, because of these gray areas, there was weed lounges. There was a lot of weed lounges where at one point Toronto had a weed comedy circuit. Like Joe Rogan brings about up in the podcast. We had the underground. There was Vapor Central. There was Vape on the Lake. There's these places where you could just smoke weed, and there was straight up comedy shows. From Monday to Sunday, you can do a whole circuit of shows, and you'd make money too.
So were these secret shows, or were these?
No, they were advertised, and you could go in.
Because everything was legal, so
it was gray, yeah. It was it's fine. It was just above the fucking vape shop. If you saw bongs in the window, you're like, oh, okay, upstairs is where the weed comedy show is, and then you go upstairs.
See, the dispensaries here in LA need to start letting us do a show at their show.
Because
I don't think LA doesn't allow for, or it does, and we'll talk about that later on. But I want to talk more about you, man. I mean, yes. Yes, LA has got his thing and it's got his cannabis, but Canada to me is very intriguing. And also I want to talk more about your history with cannabis. Yeah. Can you remember the first time you smoked weed?
I know the first time I smoked weed. I can't remember the first time I actually got high. When I knew I was really high. But it was a homie that I used to play ball with. Okay. Cause neighborhood, there's that court, you just go. Yeah. You know what I mean?
For sure.
How old were you?
And I think it was either grade 7 going to grade 8 summer, or grade 8 going to grade 9 summer.
So
one of those
13, 14.
13, 14.
Okay. Yeah, see? So.
And and then homie was just and you could tell he just needed someone to throw the 5 on the joint. You know what I mean? Because he was like, "Oh, you want to smoke?" And I'm like, "Do I want to smoke?" And then whatever, dude. We're playing ball another day. He's like, "Yo, want to smoke today?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's smoke." And he's like, "You got 5 to throw on?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got 5."
You asked me, man.
But you said so you didn't get high the first time, is what you're saying?
I don't think I got high the first time, and then I think there was one time where same dude we smoked. It was probably the third time, and I was in this garage that we just hung out in, like typical Friday shit, just chilling in the garage, you know, boombox on the side, listening to music, and you know, I was kind of like leaning, and I was like, oh. Yeah, this might be it. I'm like, this might be it.
What do you remember the music that was playing? What kind of music?
You know what? Back then, I'm not gonna lie, bro. And this is such a Toronto thing to say, but because my boy he went to predominantly Caribbean and like West Indian school. It was like either some reggae or some soca. I was just playing in the background.
Nice.
You know
That's
what I mean?
nice,
You know what I mean? But I remember that, and yeah, probably some Bounty Killer. You know what I mean? So that's all I remember. And they would blast that, and yeah, and then after that was this became it.
Not so with that after you finally felt it, after you were finally high. How often did you smoke after that? Was it like you were like, now I got to figure this out. I got to get this all the time, or when do you smoke every day?
I was a social smoker. Do I smoke every day now? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I smoke a lot.
Okay.
You know, I smoke. The thing is, I used to smoke a lot of cigarettes too.
Okay.
So I used to be that guy that smokes the weed and then the cigarette after.
Oh, do you smoke spliffs at any time or not?
It would be spliffs and then
Okay.
Blunt.
pull cigarette. Yeah, big blunt guy. And then all of a sudden, I just didn't. I got sick. I got really sick.
Okay.
My throat got fucked up, so that I couldn't smoke anything.
Ooh.
Yeah,
okay.
it was like in the winter in February, and then one time I was like, but I gotta get high. So then I just started doing like oils.
Okay.
Tinctures.
Yeah. So I was still getting high, and then I had a vape, the one you put the flower in. You go,
Yeah.
do. I think it was a PAX or whatever.
Yep.
Whatever, they're not paying us. Who cares? Doesn't matter.
I had one of those.
Doesn't
yeah.
matter.
They
We
ain't
got
us yet.
they're paying us yet. But we got a PAX, and put it in, put the temperature low, and I didn't, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm still getting high, but I'm not, my throat's all good. But then I started raising the temperature, and I started smoking weed again.
Okay.
But then the smell of cigarette was like, ugh, can't.
Yeah, because I was the same way. I smoked cigarettes a little bit in high school and a little bit in college, but then at a point when I started smoking weed and cigarettes,
Yeah.
and then it was almost like a switch, because there was one point where I took a cigarette and I was like, ugh,
Yeah.
I can't even do this.
This is
anymore.
Yeah,
gross.
I did that. I did that in college for like a good minute, and then like just one day I was just like, "Why am I doing this to myself?"
Yeah.
Like,
it's gross.
it makes it like everything stinks. Like my girl's mad at me all the time because I always smell like cigarettes, and then I was like, "I'll just stick to weed. At least it like dissipates after a little bit."
Yeah, and also it doesn't give me headaches or my heart palpitations like cigarettes used to give me. Anyway, we're talking about. This is not the cigarette Kuya podcast.
Yeah, we're talking about-
Canna Kuyas podcast.
Talk about weed.
Now, can I ask you, as far as your creative process in comedy and cannabis?
Yeah.
Does cannabis help you in as far as writing jokes or being creative? Like you said, you were writing and you did a lot of punch ups and stuff for writing.
Absolutely, man. I think back in the day, it was very easy to get high and write a joke, and like you get high and you hang out with the homies, smoke a joint.
Yeah.
With the homies, and you have conversations. You're like, yo, that's funny.
Oh,
And then you write that shit down. Write it down. But
kind of the point of this podcast, homie.
Yeah, but I think with that now, it's not the case. Like, because I'm just so used to knowing how to write jokes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that what got me into the creative process.
Sure.
Because I'm just like, oh, whatever, that was a funny conversation. Now I just have funny conversations all the time. So I'm just like writing it. But does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sure.
So
almost maybe like, I almost think this of myself, because until I moved to Cali, I was whenever I could get it in Chicago, because it wasn't legal. But then when I started smoking every day here, and I had it with me all the time, it really did become part of my creative process. But like you said, it gets to a point where it's like you smoke it, but it's not because you're trying to be creative. It's just part of the thing, and it just helps your brain open up almost.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where you're just it's the routine that hits it, sometimes.
So let me ask you: wake and bake or a nightcap? Like, if you had to choose one, which would be your favorite?
I'm more of a wake and bake guy.
Okay.
I'm more of a wake and bake guy. Sometimes, man, when it's the end of the night, But that's only because I live in a place where there's winter.
Yeah. So it's dark.
So it's dark, it's cold. I'm like, dude, I really want to put the jacket on. I gotta put my jacket on, my scarf on.
Just go to sleep. Just
I don't smoke inside the house, right?
Yeah, no, I mean,
So,
you know what I mean?
mean?
You don't smoke inside the house.
It's Filipino household. We don't do that.
Yeah. Like even Filipino Caucasian household, we don't do that.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so I don't. But wake and bake, like I'm already out. You know what I mean? I'm already on the way out, bro. So
Yeah,
I got my jacket on.
I'm
How
good
about
to
you, Mitch?
go.
I don't know that I've ever asked you that question.
Oh no, I do both, but like wake and bake definitely like.
If you had to remove one,
Yeah,
wake
if you had to
and bake.
remove one.
No, if I had to remove one, I'd rather wake and bake just because like for me mornings are always like it's the most boring part of the day for me. Like I'm just getting up, like everyone else is still getting up, and then no one can really tell I'm stoned for one. Yeah, because everyone just thinks, oh, he's just waking up. He's just
Yeah.
When we're talking about day jobs, when I used to like apply for work, I would go to interviews and the first day stoned.
oh yeah.
So
yeah.
so they just knew.
Oh yeah.
That's how I was.
Hey, this is how I roll.
yeah.
If you're willing to hire this, then
Yeah.
let's
yeah.
go.
But I was charming and it was whatever. They just, but eyes wise, mouth pasty wise. Oh, he talks a lot. That's why his mouth's dry. And it's Asian. We can't ask about his eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we can't.
Those are natural.
Yeah,
I'm racist if I ask him if.
yeah, we can't ask. Hey, are you stoned? Why? Something about your eyes, motherfucker. Man, you better hire me now. Ooh, I got you on tape. You on tape, Trevor.
So, growing up, did you were you around a lot of weed, or was your what was your family stance on it?
Oh, it's crazy. This is so fucking nuts. My family obviously did not like it. My dad used to smoke weed from what my mom was saying in the stories. It's weird. I lived in a weird high school where I lived in a part of in an area where it was half city, half suburb. I lived right on the edge.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I was access to everything.
Yeah.
Right. So it was everybody was selling weed.
Okay.
So it was weed around. Like my neighbor was selling weed. My other neighbor was selling weed.
Was it legal or
No,
recreational?
well, it's just everybody. Everybody was
just accepted. It was
not even accepted. It's everybody thought they were a dope dealer. You know what I mean? Everybody thought they were
It's my side hustle.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, no one had regular job. It was just weird,
That's
but
crazy.
But it's also these are all the guys in the suburbs as well. It's you could clearly work out Wendy's. We know this, but this guy.
But
this
why
is
not
but
sell
this is
weed
early
instead?
2000s. And
Sure.
shit,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
everybody's just selling weed, and obviously, I fell into that game, unfortunately. And the crazy thing was, it was I didn't even know that some of my family partaked in that type of shit.
I told you.
You know what I mean? You're oh my god, you find out one of your cousins fucking does it. One of your uncle sells it.
Because
and you're
you
oh my
can't talk
god.
about it
Yeah.
at the Caína, and
Yeah, you're oh my god, what the fuck? You're like, oh shit. So
when was the first time you and a family member found out you guys both smoked? Did you guys take the cousin walk? It's Thanksgiving. It's hey, you want to step?
Or was that strictly something you kind of kept to yourself, and it wasn't anything you involved?
No, there was one time my uncle Felix.
Tito Felix.
Tito Felix, man, the late Tito Felix. He passed away recently, which is sad, but he was a guy. Yeah, he was a guy. He had a bag in his apartment because he did architect stuff, and my other cousin JR, who was all yo, look at that. Look what's on the bag. Look what the bag is, bro. We're oh shit. We're so it wasn't more yo, come outside, I have something for you. It was yo, that's a bag. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and then New Year's, I kind of snuck out at my cousin's, and I just lit up a joint, and one of my other older cousins just saw me and was I'm oh shit, you know what I mean? Oh, I'm booked. This is it. This is it. They know. And my other cousin's oh, let me hit that. So it's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was always the one. Everybody was either drinking or it was weird. The weird thing about my family is their vices was never drinking or weed. It was more just a lot of gambling,
Yeah.
a lot of sports or mahjong, poker.
Yeah, now see,
Play for soy.
my family was same thing. They were gambling or church.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Gambling or church.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah, you're good.
Look at you. You see, Mitch is he's our resident tech guy. Because I was
Resitech.
Because I was trying to hook up these two mics earlier today. Because you're our first official guest.
Oh, sweet.
Canna
Thanks, man.
Kuyas, which is awesome to have. Man of your ilk, but also a man of your cannabis knowledge. I mean, you smoked since you were 12, 13, right? 14?
Yeah, I would say 14.
Now,
let's say 13, 14, maybe, yeah.
What would you say would be? Could you remember your best experience with cannabis?
You're like for your highlight reel. What's like?
Oh man,
what's your best weed story?
Your highlight reel?
Yes.
Yeah, the highlight reel. There's too many, man.
Right? It's such a good plant to make you feel good. You have to
there's
always have like the best experience.
Yeah, no, it's always like like it could be on a daily, but like if you had to say, it's like, oh yeah, like I was high and I remember this.
Or maybe when's your best time to experience weed?
I used to freestyle rap a lot.
Okay.
Back in high school, and I remember one time I was fucking lit, and I was just going off the top and just spitting like.
In the
fucking roasting each guy that's around and blah blah blah, and it was epic and people went nuts, and I think I was like, oh man, I'm fucking stoned, and I was like in my head I was like, there's no way I would have did that sober.
Right.
It's fucking high as
you were
shit.
able to like just totally let go and just go.
Yeah, stuff like that. Even like I remember one time I was fucking baked out of my mind, and I was actually quite frankly I made it to the I don't know what you guys call it, but I guess the junior basketball team for high school.
Sure, JV. Junior varsity.
Is that what grade is that? Grade 9, grade 10?
Yeah.
Like freshman, sophomore. Yeah.
So it was like that. Yeah. So I was on that team, but I was fucking ripped. Right? I just high all the time. Basketball diaries. You know what I mean?
I mean, what else you gonna do playing basketball, man? I mean, you got to have a little weed.
Yeah. There was one game I remember where I fucking ripped it up, and
you're just loose.
Just doing fucking crazy passes, crossovers.
How many points you score?
But here's the thing. I don't know. I think it was probably so the first 3 possessions we had, I was responsible for the points. I think I got either 2 assists and one layup, or 2 layups or one. It's it was nice.
Right.
First 6 baskets.
Filling up the stat sheet.
First, I remember first 6 baskets. I was
good.
part of it.
You're
I
good.
got it. Pasty kicked in, and this is when you don't really know the pasties. You don't really know them.
Wait, sorry. What's a pasty? For
When your mouth gets all fucked up.
Oh, okay.
Dry. Dry mouth. You know what I mean?
I was right there with you because we smoked before this, and I'm a little pasty right now.
Yeah. So you get that. That's a Canadian term, I guess. What do you guys call that? Dry mouth, cotton mouth.
Cotton mouth, dry mouth.
The Cottonmouth Kings, the band.
Yeah. So you getting all cotton mouth and then fucking bad. Sometimes it's so dry you get the needles.
Yeah.
Right. So I never felt that yet. So I'm fucking just boom, bap, bap, killing motherfuckers on the court, right? And I'm like, ooh, but I'm high, so everything's
intensified.
Almost in slow motion too, a little bit. Bro.
It's almost slow motion because you're anticipating it better.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh shit, this is happening. No, there he goes, bro. Oh, you guys got him. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? But this is back, but this is also when you're young, 15, 14-year-old kid who has so much athleticism and right? Because we're all fucking Pinoys here. We all had we were fast.
We were all good until everybody hit their growth spurt and we stayed the same.
Yeah. It's fucking layups out of here.
I always had the most heart to fuck you up.
Yeah.
I did not.
Remember me, motherfucker, huh?
Now,
so then,
basically it's like stream of consciousness. You were in it like basketball. You were playing. You were physically being physical.
That was nice.
Or when you were freestyling and being creative, and there was a certain flow, or you were a zone of some kind. So it seems to me like a lot of your good experiences with weed have to do with you being in some way creative or
some sort of supernatural being.
Yeah. Like you have some kind of
turned me up
or something.
I have transcended.
Yeah. The only thing is, it's weird is At one point, I wouldn't be able to smoke before I would perform.
I was gonna ask you.
I would drink.
Okay.
Then I would perform. But now I can do both, whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I can't drink before I do a show.
Really?
Yeah.
Sometimes I drink too much.
Yeah. No, but that's
think
part
you
of it
would.
because for me it's the way that it affects me. Like me, I'm cool with weed. I'll smoke 10 joints before a show, and I'm just as talkative as I was before I started smoking.
Yeah.
But if I drink,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fall asleep.
Yeah, see,
I'll fall asleep.
I can smoke a bunch before a set, but there is a certain point where if I smoke too much, right, like it'll be like I forgot my punchline. I forgot what I was talking about. Because you know how you space out sometimes. Drinking, I can't. Drinking, I just get sloppy. So
Yeah,
I have to perform first, and then all bets are off after.
I think when I smoke weed and perform, it's better when I'm doing new shit.
Yeah, because
Right.
you
For
give
sure.
less of
You're
a
just-
damn.
Yeah, you're just ranting,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that way it's like whatever.
Well, and even like for me, even when I'm doing old material, if I do a set and I'll smoke beforehand and I do an old joke, I'll find new shit in the joke while I'm doing it. I'll be like, there's a new tag for this.
Yeah, new
or
tag.
a new whatever. So it's definitely, for me, definitely a thing where it allows me to open up and be more creative when I'm doing my comedy. So I smoke it before every set.
No, it does. I think just weed in general just usually opens you up to people.
Okay.
Like you can vibe with people more. That's why sometimes when I smoke, I just interact with crowds better because there's less of that anxiety. I'm less in my head about it. I'm just like, all right, well, if you don't like me, I'm high, so I don't really care.
No, I know that, I know you and I know Norm and I know Ron Jossel. Those are the 3 Canadian Filipino comedians that I know personally.
Okay.
And I know that you and Norm smoke. I don't know if Ron smokes, so I'm not gonna put him out there like that. But
I don't know. I think he does sometimes.
I think on occasion.
Yeah,
but,
he's a social.
But I know because I remember when Norm did the karaoke show. I already asked Norm to do this show, by the way. But when Norm did the karaoke show, I remember because it was open at the Good Night. They were cool with us, and we were doing shows. And Norm took out some beautiful weed and just started rolling up a joint
at the table. I remember that.
and I was just, how open is, because you were saying that you guys run a comedy show.
Yeah.
Tell us about that show that you run.
We do. Shout out to Big Norm, the homie right here. We do Bear Jokes, which is I think we're 5 years running. Speakeasy vibe. Mm-hmm. So you buy your ticket, you show up, we send you the email of the venue day of. Mm-hmm. They show up, and we've had some crazy lofts, art galleries. Mm-hmm. We had some retro movie theaters.
Nice.
Dope.
Right. So we've had some dope ass shows with dope ass sponsors with some crazy we had one 420 show, first 420 of legalization, 2019, 420. Shout out to High Street Cannabis Smokey. That's the dude, Vancouver team. They came up to us. They're like, yo, we want to do a big fucking 420 party, and yeah, it was fucking huge, man. We had a whole warehouse filled with motherfuckers just lighting up.
Oh,
and,
just buzzed.
Bro, and
but
we
doing
had
comedy.
Yeah, when we did comedy at the same time, but also when you came to the venue, we did some Ellen shit. You came under you looked under your chair. We're like, I was hosting. I was like, grab under your chair. Everybody had a fucking pre-roll.
Oh.
So we gave away free weed. We gave away. It was good. It was good fun.
You've literally just described my dream comedy event.
This is what we do, man. This is what we do. We do a lot of stuff. The last weed comedy. So we did our last Bear Jokes. We had Cypher Sounds.
Oh shit.
Yeah, there, and he was like, "This is for real." He had no idea it was a hot box.
I mean, basically, you're doing hot boxing comedy.
Yeah, no, he wanted to go up early. He's like, "I'm not hanging out here, man. So don't fucking turn into a fan, fucking Frankenstein and just a zombie and just." So I remember I was hosting that night, and I was like, "All right," and people, it's crazy because people always like, how do you perform in these fucking weed venues where everybody's just comatose? Like this, because I used to work that circuit prior to the legalization. There was that gray area.
Honest,
yeah. So Monday there was this place called Vape on the Lake that you go, and then you just go there, and it's like a dope ass spot. And then Tuesday was this place called the Hot Box Cafe in Kensington Market. And you just go there, and then Wednesday.
Wait, a Hot Box Cantonese market?
No, a Hot Box Cafe in this place called Kensington
Where'd
Market.
you hear Cantonese?
I heard Cantonese probably because I'm hungry. Never mind, forget it.
Yeah, so you would do that. Then Wednesday would be like this place called Vapor Central. Then Thursday would this place called the Underground. And then
So it's just a circuit.
yeah, then Saturday, Sundays, like you could headline in one of those other rooms who have a big, like Vapor Central's a big show that fits like
awesome.
200 people.
So it was obviously so people were smoking, but people like were people eating it, or was there like food, or like was it a whole event, or like?
No, you just come there and you can rent the vaporizers, and people you just come in, you show up. There's a stack of ashtrays and papers and fucking filter paper, you know.
Oh, with the sponsors.
Yeah, and you just grab it. You grab
So
it.
you just
grab
bring your own
tray,
product.
bring your product, whatever,
Alright.
and then you just light up, and then whatever you pay to cover. You know what I mean?
Dude.
You just light up, and people just you have this big smoke, and it's crazy night. We used to do this, and then but.
We're moving to Toronto, guys.
But the thing was, you couldn't smoke blunts
Why
in
not?
any of these places. That was the thing. It was only paper.
Why is that?
Or vibes. I don't know. I guess because of tobacco.
Oh, okay.
Right, there's tobacco in the paper.
Well, yeah, if there's an ordinance against smoking tobacco in the
in a
restaurant or wherever it is,
Well-
then the blunt would count as tobacco.
Yeah. I think that was the gray area.
Yeah.
So you weren't. So what me and Norm did, entrepreneurs solve problems.
Correct, of course.
So we did it where it's just like a fucking backwood friendly, blunt friendly venue. So when people came in, smoke backwoods. I'm not a big blunt guy myself.
I'm not a big blunt
I'm
guy.
a paper guy myself. But
Definitely.
There's a big backwood grabba community.
Oh, I mean, and some folks will even frown upon not having a blunt for you. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
Snoop has his own blunt roller, so there's a market for blunts. It's
Yeah.
not like people know. But for me, my preference would definitely be a joint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just it's like like with alcohol, you have different ways of like
Correct.
consuming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me, I love the after meal spliff with
Ooh,
joints.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
that's
See,
the best one.
It is because like you're like your body's full, right? Like you get to like relax into it, and then like your body's digesting stuff, and it's just like firing shit off in your head. You're just like, oh, that's the best.
Since I started growing and have the supply that I do, because when you don't have supply and you're buying it from wherever you're buying it from, and you're paying for it, you kind of trying to budget it out, right? So you don't smoke as much. So now that I've smoked, I don't even have set times of when I smoke now. I just kind of like, whenever I want to smoke, I just kind of go smoke. And man, I love this shit, really.
So okay, so you got post meal, right? Like I think I enjoy a smoke like right before I watch a movie, or like.
I was gonna say I like that, but my favorite smoke of the day will always be my wake and bake with my morning
okay.
coffee.
So first hit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that first taste of weed.
No, like
That's always my favorite smoke.
Nice latte or something. Whatever.
No, just black coffee for me.
I can't
don't-
drink coffee.
I don't do
You're not
coffee
a-
either.
Both of you
I
don't
start
drink
shaking
coffee.
and shit.
Yeah, I get
For
jittery.
real?
I can't.
Wow.
Like that's why I like weed because
Well,
it settles me, man.
But see,
like,
with me, I've been working in an espresso bar. That was my side hustle for a lot of my acting and comedy life was working in espresso bars. So drinking a shot of espresso was nothing for me. So I straight up drink black coffee and 2 shots of espresso, and it doesn't even keep me up. I can fall asleep.
see, like I can do like Thai tea. I can't do like the Thai iced coffee because that shit would just get me just like
That's interesting.
I just get amped, man.
Jordan Peele talks about how he's like caffeine and cannabis are like my two drugs that help me with my creativity.
Yeah,
And
once
I feel like I'm kind of chemically the same as Jordan Peele.
could be.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'll do like a matcha latte. I got super bougie with it.
Oh
Really?
yeah, do it.
Okay.
And then with a joint.
No, but that's good. That's a
No,
nice little hot. But that's good too.
Green on green. Green on
Keeping
green.
it green, dog.
Green
Keeping
on
it
green.
green.
Everything green.
Let me see what else I want to ask you. When was the first time?
I did anal on a
Bitch,
weed.
there's no anal
not
talk
yet.
here.
No,
No, we ain't talking about no anal.
Don't play it.
No, talk to me about your process with TRILLAPINO. Like, like from inception till getting nominated for the JUNO award? Like, just
like
tell
the
us
album and
tell us
everything?
that story. Yeah, tell us the story and the process and all of it. Just because I'm so interested in that. Because I mean, congratulations, by the way. That shit was
Thanks,
funny
man.
as hell and it was great and all that stuff. But I'd love to hear the story behind all of that.
No, I was just done. You know what I mean? I was at a point in my. I've been doing this fucking. The crazy thing is, I don't like telling how long I've been doing this because people get like, oh wow, you know what I mean? But like, it just so. It's crazy because back to whole weed was weed is like kind of like my best worst friend because I also got pinched off of it.
Oh.
Right, so
Oh,
that prevented me from crossing the border a while ago. So I could have been doing these shows a long time ago. It's just, I was held back because of
I was going
paperwork.
to ask you about that if that was why, because I remember seeing that on your Instagram.
Yeah.
You
So
canceled a bunch of shows.
so I had to cancel some shows recently because I had to re-up some paperwork. But everything worked out. Shout out to the lawyer and all the team. Like
sitting here right now.
so I'm sitting here.
You're here,
obviously. But yeah, and then so I was at that point where like. And in Canada, so for the people who don't know, JUNO is like the Grammy thing. So I was already having a hot year when I got nominated. I was writing and doing that show, and I was on that show, Roast Battles, that I got nominated for. So we shot a bunch of those episodes randomly, and then my episode killed it hard enough that they threw it as the fucking series premiere. Like, you know what I mean?
That was the promo.
Put
That
you
was
in
a
the
promo.
trailer, all that
Put in
stuff.
the
Yeah,
trailer,
all
it
that
was
stuff.
the shit, and that performance alone gave it the season 2 green light. So you know what I mean. And then that got nominated for a Canadian Screen Award, which is another like Emmy for Canada. But so it was already a hot year, and I told the homie Barry, the guy that produced my album, I was like, "Yo, don't submit it to the JUNO. I don't care. I don't care. You don't pay the fee. You know what I mean?" Mm-hmm. And but he's like, "Doc, I do it with all our albums."
Right.
You know what I mean? So it don't matter. Like, we just don't, man.
We just throw.
And the thing was, when I made that album, I had this because I was going through these hoops of coming and working here. I thought I was never leaving Canada, so I was like, "Yo, fuck this," Salter, like this. The crazy thing about Canada is like it's very diverse, but it's like they want their white diverse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They want their white story of what it's supposed to be. Like it's a bunch of white people choosing the diversity. You know what I mean?
Gatekeepers.
Yeah.
You still got the
It's
gatekeepers.
still the same thing. So it's like, I didn't want to, but at the same time, things started changing. So when I created this album, I was doing sets where like I was talking about, and this is way before everybody else started doing it, where like I was talking about like, white privilege, and like there was a joke that I did that I think got viral and a lot of people stole it and took it as memes. When I talk about why does Goku have to turn blonde?
Oh yeah, I've
And
heard
blue
this
eyes,
bit.
yeah. And then, so I do
Yeah, I heard
that,
that,
and I
yeah.
talk about like I go on. I talk about like chicken fingers and fries in the fucking Chinese buffet, and I talk about like I even have a joke about when we white people smile, they have better skin because they smile more. They get wrinkles faster because they smile more. Do you know how like they're always like, "Oh, you have great skin." I'm like, "Yeah, because you spend your whole life fucking smiling, pal." You know what I mean? So like I do all these like I wouldn't say white bashing jokes, but like white privilege jokes.
Sure.
Right. And and I did it, and trill means like too real, right? So it's a Houston word. So I was just kind of like just hitting. I was like, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna say what I want to say."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just gonna say what the fuck, like just Cat Williams type shit without being Cat Williams. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's exactly.
So I kept it a buck on it, and then when I did that album, the JUNO committee, I flipped. Some white people left, and then some ethnic people came in, and they're like,
Sure.
"Oh, this guy's funny."
Yeah.
So, but even the white people, and that's the thing. I'm not even like gonna hate on any of the white people in Canada, because even the gatekeepers and they put me on, and they find my shit funny, so they still know what funny is.
Right.
It's just there's always that type of like quota they gotta hit for everybody. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, I'm cool, Keith, but I'm cool in Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, but how people are gonna view me in Saskatchewan or St. John's or Moncton, New Brunswick,
or
Quebec,
or wherever else.
I mean? Yeah, exactly. Where places where so that's the struggle when it's a Canadian, right?
Yeah,
and it's very similar to the struggle here because
I only stay on the coasts. Like I'd only go on the coast. Like I'd never tour in the middle of the country.
Like Edwin San Juan is a guy like I would love that career. He's the GOAT.
He kind of is the GOAT. He's got all the crown jewels of everything. He's got the house, the steady residency, and
shout out to him, bro. Tag him in this clip, bro. Shout out to Edwin, bro. That guy is
he's
the GOAT, man.
Meet Edwin, we'll say it like that.
No, I've worked with Edwin in Vegas. He opened the doors for me, man, and that guy is a real one, dude. And like I've always, and the crazy thing is, I love Rex come up, like when I was coming up and I was watching Rex and everybody had the VHS.
We all did, man. We all watched
loved the Rex, but then Edwin was the guy that spoke to me more, though. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, this guy's hilarious, bro.
And not even that, because and that's part of why I want to have Edwin on is because he smokes. He puts it on his podcast, on his Instagram. He's got the cannabis on his podcast, and on his Insta, which I think is a really cool thing because not all of us do. It's another reason why I wanted to have you on because you're so open about it. You're so open about cannabis, like because there is a stigma in our community. Or is that the same in Canada, or is it?
The crazy thing is, I know that sometimes that tears me away from certain, sometimes my team will be like, yeah, there's too much of a cannabis post there, Keith. You got to relax there, and I'm just like, you know what? But at the same time, I do a lot of cannabis events and if this is gonna and the crazy thing is like before legalization, before all this paperwork done, I was like, yo, if this is gonna be the thing that's gonna be like, put yourself in my shoes. I can't even cross the border. I couldn't even get a real job beforehand because I was arrested for weed, and like now everybody and their mama's selling weed in my country. So people are like, they're getting tax returns and everything.
I mean, it's like better. You get frontline in California if you had been arrested for weed. You get there's like programs where if you were in those type of things, now you can get into the legalization. You can be in get your own company, your own weed company. I don't know the details of it, but there's a lot of different programs here where if you were arrested for weed back in the day when it was illegal, now you can get into the but for you crossing the country, traveling with your job in comedy, it made it difficult because you're
and the crazy thing was I said to myself, I'm like, if this is gonna be the thing that's gonna hold me back, then why am I not going to maximize? And I was getting these deals and all these offers because I was doing a lot of these weed rooms and a lot of these guys I know that were like getting all this stuff, and I was like, I gotta stay low key. I got pinched. I can't have too much stuff around it. You know what I mean? But then I was just like, no, fuck it, man. This is already holding me back.
Right.
Why can't it?
And then also, like all these other people now that it's legal and it's changed and the climate has changed, it was totally different. It's a totally different environment.
Yeah.
Why can't I also benefit from it?
Yeah.
So sure.
Yeah, I did a live podcast show like this, reviewing weed, smoking like I had my whole like lineup of ginger shots so I could.
Speaking of which,
taste.
you smoked my homegrown before you.
Yes, we have. We did hit the homegrown.
So what's your Canadian JUNO nominated review of my cannabis?
No, the gelato. I'll be honest with you, man. It was fire because sometimes I'll smoke some weed before podcasts, or we'll smoke during the podcast, and I won't talk to this. I'll be like, the process for TRILLAPINO.
Just go through the motions.
A bag of Doritos, like, you know what I mean, like. But this is like, I like this type of weed.
Yeah, this is my favorite kind of weed.
Wait.
Like this is my every day. Like
gelato is a sativa hybrid.
It's a hybrid. Yeah, it's a hybrid.
Yeah. No. I like it. It was good. It was smooth too. Cause I'm like, yo, did you roll this?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, packing cones, baby.
Packing cones, baby.
Packing cones is probably the best way to do it. But like, because of legalization where I'm from, like I'm so bougie. I can't roll anything anymore. There's no time. There's no time.
I practice, like I try, and it's so. And also, I'm getting older, so I got like arthritis in my fingers, and I can't.
Oh no, I can roll. I just don't have time to do it. I don't have time to break up.
I'm no good.
That's why I use the weed gadgets, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's so many weed gadgets.
Mitch is all on the weed gadgets.
I have the
He's a
automatic
hipster.
grinder. Though.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
so,
there ain't time for twisting.
Yeah,
No one's twisting no more.
automated
No
and
one's
yeah,
twisting.
do that, and then I have a 6-shooter. You know what a 6-shooter is? Like you can load up 6 cones at one time.
And then just pack it.
Yeah, you just sprinkle everything on top, and then freaking put it on the base, and it'll pop everything up. You just twist it.
Send me that Amazon link.
Yeah, for sure.
Send me that Amazon link, bro. I
So
need
Raw,
that.
if you want to sponsor,
Yo,
we
man.
got people that want to buy some 6-shooters. And
6 shooters, bro. Show me this
I
thing.
mean, you know, you get Filipinos and 6 shooters, whatever it is, you load it up and shoot it.
But yeah, man, if we can just what? That's some Tony Stark Jarvis shit.
yeah.
Jarvis, 6 pre-rolls now.
I mean, that's kind of
There
the
you are.
only, like, Cat Williams got he talked about it on Shannon's. He had a weed roller, joint roller, and then Snoop's got a blunt roller. I mean, as far as, like, financial success, that's
Yeah.
really my only goal.
To have someone to roll your weed for.
Yeah, just to be able to hook someone up to be like, hey, just follow me around, just make as
Make
many
sure
joints.
that whenever I go like this, I got a joint in my finger.
Yo, man,
it's-
that I have never thought of
Yo,
that
Jeeves,
luxury.
right here, hit me.
Yeah,
like a
man.
button on your desk, you just weed.
Yeah, like that, like Donald Trump's Diet Coke button on his desk.
Yeah, no, man. I would. Yeah, no, 100%. I would definitely. Just even having like a bunch of jars, and you can tell like the guy's like, all right, we're going.
Yeah.
I want 18.
I want
That's
that.
my goal
18.
with the grow, bro. Like you saw the jar I showed you with the gelato
Yeah.
in it. I mean, I got all those different strains in there now. I'll probably by the goal at end of February, I'll probably have 3 or 4 more
Damn.
jars of different stuff, and I'll be able to. And I mean, for me, the fact that I grow it,
Yeah.
I mean, it's given me this outlet to be able to start talking about it because I know so much about it now from the growing side, but then I also done comedy for 20 years, so it's like this thing where, man, so many of us, especially Filipinos, because we talked about it in our first podcast about this quote from Aislinger. He was the assistant board of the commissions on against weed back in the 30s, and he mentioned the quote was Negroes, Latinos, and Filipinos and entertainers use this plant to lure white women away from us. It was like it's not the quote for quote, but it's basically the gist of the quote.
Well, where was that?
It was here in America in 1937.
It's an official government document.
Yeah.
What's the name of that document?
We'll show it to you. We'll show it to you. It was like it was a part of the dialogue in the trial during when they were criminalizing marijuana, and that was part of the testimony. Was they used Filipinos specific? Like when the hell did you hear them mentioning Filipinos in 1930? But they sure did mention Filipinos when they were trying to demonize cannabis and demonize Filipinos and keep us from stealing their ladies.
That document.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call
No,
it.
but we just-
I'm gonna call it my album.
We just celebrated, or not celebrated. I don't think you would celebrate it. My bad. But we it was the anniversary of the Watsonville riots back in.
Oh,
the
yeah.
day. So the Watsonville riots were a result of white dudes getting pissed that the Filipino dudes were taking their women, and they freaking killed a bunch of Filipinos, bombed like Filipino-owned businesses and buildings, and
What they call it again?
the Watsonville riots.
Watsonville riots.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of like really unfortunate stuff with Filipinos growing in you know the 30s and in the 40s when we first immigrated.
That's
here.
what we call in the comedy album. Watsonville riots.
Oh, for real? Yeah. No, because that's kind of where I want to live. You know, and as far as my comedy goes, you know, like because I like educating today's generation about prior history. You know what I'm saying? And when I saw that quote, I was like, wait a minute. Like straight up, when do you hear them mention Filipinos in anything? Especially in 1930?
When was the Watsonville riots?
So January 19th, 1930, white mobs attacked Filipino farm workers.
So, and then
In California.
Right. So in 1930 that happened. 1937 that quote happened. So for 7 years they've been.
So when do you think? When do you think? Like, because the crazy thing is California is so fucking old.
Oh yeah.
You know,
It's Mexico.
Filipinos have been here from time.
There's generations of Filipinos live here.
And that's crazy because I've never, only in California, in my opinion, will you see a Lola with no accent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Only in California.
That's why I love saying that I grew up out here. I experienced that.
No,
you
but
know?
that, you know what I love about that is because you get my perspective and his perspective on this podcast, but as a Canadian Filipino, it's even that much more different because for me as a Midwest Filipino, like growing up in Chicago, we're lucky. Like the Santo Niño group, that was it. That's what we had. Whereas this guy grew up with festivals and, you know, people, I mean, a whole bunch of Filipinos everywhere because this is what the second largest Filipino or the first largest Filipino population in America, right? It's Los Angeles or second. I don't know.
I don't know. We make up a good
but
portion.
you make a big chunk of like Los Angeles makes up a big chunk of the Filipino population in America.
No, but that's why we wanted to have you on because like you bring perspective. 'Cause, you know, like, you know, you're growing up Filipino in Canada. It's a whole different thing. You know,
it's weird because you know, you don't see an outcome of being a Filipino in Canada. Does that make sense?
What do you mean by that?
Like there's not a lot of businesses or like, you know what I mean? Like Filipinos, like there's not a lot of there's not a lot of Mexicans and Filipinos. So Filipinos take those jobs, the nannies, the drive-throughs. So all the stuff that you're used to seeing a Mexican do, it's probably a Filipino doing in Canada.
Okay, it's like that.
So it's you know what I mean? So it's weird, and because there's no like here, there's so many businesses run by Filipinos.
Yeah,
sure,
right? You know what I mean? There, like back home, it's like the manager's Filipino, not the owner. You know what I mean? So like that's the highest it will go.
Because
you know what I mean?
Because you're dealing with maybe one or two, maybe three generations.
That's what I'm saying.
At the very most, right?
California's like it's dope. And I say this in my stand up every time I tour in California. I say like, as a Canadian, like coming into California, it feels like, you know, like
coming home.
No, not like you go to Wakanda.
Oh,
you're like, oh my God, my people are flourishing here. And they're like, there's businesses.
Los Angeles is Filipino Wakanda.
Yeah, they're speaking their own language and stuff. They're not hiding.
Our vibranium is weed.
They got it's true.
Weed, women, like there's so many like
WWW.
Weed and weather.
Yeah, it's just
yeah.
Filipino women here get all the attention. Like it's like, you know, like even like we watched the show Beef.
Yeah.
Where the guy's like, yo man, it's all good. The Filipinos got my back.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, this is crazy.
No, like the now at this point for Filipino culture in California, like and this includes like Northern California, like it's so diverse. You have your different pockets of stuff, right? You'll have like your OGs, you'll have like your nerds, you know, like it's so like there's like whatever microcosm you could see like within the US there is someone that's representative of that, you know?
Yeah, and I feel like it's weird because when I try to make my Filipino content without making it Filipino content.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like
that was the advice of every agent and manager and comedian writer that I worked with in the Midwest was like, yeah, the Filipino stuff is funny, but can you make it not so Filipino?
Not so ethnic, please.
No, but for real, because they wanted to be able to sell to the people who they're trying to sell it to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's I don't want to like. It's weird because there's a big group of people like us who are just Filipinos but raised in North America.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't have to like use an accent to be funny or like you know what I mean or like
correct.
Yeah.
Or,
we want to see.
I still do use an accent.
I use an accent too, but when it's telling a story, but like it's not like a crutch, you know.
Yeah. You know I'm glad you brought that up because I want to ask you that because that's a big like because I did a thing called Mini Pacquiao back in the day with the sketch where and my mom was like, "Why are you making fun of us?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "I'm not making fun of you. It's a character that I'm playing." You know, it's.
I think when you're making a character, and plus Manny Pacquiao's like, that's not even now. You're not even doing an accent. You're doing his voice.
Correct.
He has an accent.
Correct.
You're doing Manny Pacquiao.
You're just doing basically.
If Manny Pacquiao didn't have an accent, you wouldn't have an accent.
Correct. So when you're writing a joke that you might consider using an accent, as far as in a Filipino kind of joke.
Yeah.
What's your process with that? What
you just have to. Because I don't know. To me, it's like you have to be
what
as
do you,
real.
what do you, keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you just got to be as real as can be.
Yeah.
If I'm telling a story about my mom and she has an accent, I'm gonna use the accent.
Exactly.
She has the accent.
No, because that's your experience that you've lived.
And
if it punches up the joke because you say it in the line and the accent, then all the better.
Yeah, and sometimes I don't even like, do the accent hard. I'll just do it in a slight tone and like just so you can hear the frustration in their voice.
It's almost even just the character differentiation. If you're telling a story, you want to be able to say, okay, I'm speaking now, and then now my mom's speaking now. It's just kind of like that. Yeah, right on.
No, yeah, because there are a lot of comics like that. I feel like they go for like low hanging fruit, and it's just. Oh, they do the accent because they know it's going to get an automatic laugh.
For sure.
It doesn't matter what they say. It's just like, funny. It sounds weird. Like, as opposed to like actually crafting a joke and then, like just telling it authentically. And then if there's an accent in it or not, like the joke is still funny.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I think like you said, you're playing a character almost.
Yeah. So if my mom speaks like it.
Now,
I also do a brown accent. I'll do an Indian accent.
I do all kinds of accents.
I'll do all kinds of accents.
Yeah,
like, you know
exactly.
what I mean? If that's part of the story.
I try to do an English accent, but it's hard for me. I still can't.
Same as a British one.
Now,
it's the same as a brown one.
Yeah, exactly. Now, let's wind this down and wind it up.
Wind it down and wind it up.
Wind it down, wind it up. No, this is going to be coming out. This is the 3rd episode, and I'm really excited to have you here and also have you considering moving to California.
Yeah.
So what would you want to, like, do you have any shows coming up? Like,
yeah, man.
Tell us any shows you want people to know about. Give us anything you want to promote.
Yeah, we got a big show, the Jokesy Log run. That's Sacramento, February 21st. And then we got San Diego, American Comedy Company.
Okay.
February 25th.
Nice. I think I'm gonna go down for that. I'm gonna come down for that.
Yeah, pull up. I'm gonna record. That's probably gonna record that album. I have a new album.
Oh, you record your new album then?
I'm recording in San Diego.
I read that. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll definitely pull up then for that.
Yeah, we know.
I'm always down in San Diego doing stuff and my.
San Diego's nice, huh?
I love San Diego. What do you think of the San Diego Filipino community?
You know what? I haven't had a chance to indulge in them.
Oh man,
I haven't had a chance to indulge in them.
Shout out to San Diego.
Oh, shout out to San Diego. I mean, we're back and forth with San Diego. Shout out to Mikey Perry, another Canna Kuya. But the San Diego Filipino community, and they're so supportive.
Yeah, man.
I know they're gonna show you a lot of love.
I'm gonna try to get Mikey on that because we're recording and the time is tight, but I know Mikey's the guy in San Diego.
Oh no, Mikey's the guy in San Diego
so
for sure.
I wanna pay tribute to the homie.
Where can people find you on social media if you wanna?
Well, right now I'm at Keith Pedro on Instagram, at Keith.Pedro, TikTok. That's pretty much the only 2 things I use.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean?
Fair.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Instagram is
I have a Facebook fan page. Keith Pedro's out there somewhere, but it's used.
It's for the titos and titas.
It's just like your cousins in Philippines, just like, oh yeah, he's a comedian.
Yeah, it's crazy how Facebook is not even used anymore.
Yeah, I think it's and I think that's going to be the way it is with a lot of these.
They still get our data.
I mean, they still get our data. They're still we still check it a lot, but at the same time, I feel like that's kind of that's for me the goal of this podcast in a lot of ways is to deplatform my comedy and my cannabis content so that they can just listen to this podcast and then go to our website and where we're gonna go and be in our tours and be in our shows and
man.
And obviously I would love to incorporate you into the show because I'd love if you're here in LA. Your door's always open for you.
No, thank you, man. It's been a long time coming, man. We've been trying to work together for a hot minute.
It is, and I'm happy to invite you to my home and have you as literally the first guest of my podcast.
But it's crazy, man.
It's an honor to have you.
This guy invited me to his white wife's home. And I'm like, this guy, what? I go, as a Filipino man, like looking at, like this guy, man, this is how it happens. You marry a white woman? That's nice.
This is what it's like.
I'm living
Southern California.
I'm living every manong's dream. See, I'm breaking the law. When it was the manongs, I was breaking the law. The Watsonville riots.
Watsonville riots,
the white lady.
No, I have my wife's Filipino. I love that though.
Yeah.
I fucked with some non-Filipinos. It's crazy. My wife I returned home. I didn't. She's my first and last Filipino.
Really?
First and last woman.
How long have you been together?
Oh, hot minute.
Like high school? What?
No. College.
Okay.
College times. Yeah. This was after high school. But no, man. Like, yeah, I did the lap around. You know. So, but it's fun because when you finally come home, I feel like when you finally have a Filipino woman, it's like you don't have to explain dishes. You know what I mean?
I just do the dishes because she pays for everything.
No, I mean like explain like the food, like you don't have to tell her.
Dishes.
Yeah, the dishes. Yeah, you don't have to. You know what I mean? Like
now we've been married. My wife and I have been married. Now we got married in 05.
05? Okay.
So we've been married.
How did you have to explain like sinigang to her? She's like, so do I get a bowl? Do I get a plate? No, she don't fuck.
She
with
don't fuck with it. She really. I mean,
she don't fuck with the sinigang.
If that's the one thing about my wife that she doesn't accept about my culture.
Is the food?
And it's not a matter of doesn't accept. She's tried food and certain stuff she likes, certain stuff she doesn't like. But nah, it's not. That's not her favorite thing. But she's not really. She grew up in Iowa though, So her palate is very Iowan.
I'm
we'll
very lucky. That. Like my wife is half white, half Latina, and like when I met her, she was already pretty hip to a lot of Filipino stuff.
Are you full-blood Filipino?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, like she was pretty hip because I guess she grew up around a lot of Filipinos, or not a lot of Filipinos.
Well,
but
she
like,
grew up here. Did she grow up in LA or
she grew up in New Mexico? And then when she was like 18, she moved out here. And then when she moved out here, like she was roommates and she lived with a ton of Filipinos. So so in her early 20s, she was like already like around a lot of us.
No, see, I didn't. So when I was growing up in Chicago. The only Filipina that I knew was the Filipina that worked at the Filipino store. Okay. In the little market, and I was trying to holler. We was like, "What's up?" And then I was so proud of myself that I got her number, and I got to my dad, and I'm like, "Dad, I got Kathy's number." He's like, "That's your cousin." For real? Yeah, that's your cousin. Never mind. Okay, cool. Thank you.
No, yeah, like for me, like
I'm gonna stick to the white girls in Chicago then if everybody's related to me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I will say, like growing up out here, even though that there were a lot of Filipinos, none of them ever wanted to like. I don't know. They were always looking for something other than Filipino because like. Like I was normal for them, or like I was like I reminded.
Where'd you grow up? Burbank area, this area?
Los Angeles or Eagle Rock.
Okay, I don't know what that is, but
it's
a lot of Filipinos there. No.
Yeah, there's a lot of Filipinos there. Like, if you go there, there's like a Jollibee seafood.
So if there was Filipinos there, like in your high school, Filipino girls, who would they be dating? Like white dudes, Korean dudes,
white dudes, Mexicans. A couple of them would, go against the norm and date black dudes, which was very taboo back then.
Well, I'm thankful that hers. Mom did that.
Yeah.
That's a big thing in Toronto. There's a lot of Filipinos and blacks that connect.
There were a lot of...
No, like now it's like that's
a big thing in Chicago too.
It's normal, but yeah, out here like it would be like, like white, like in the area I grew up in, like white dudes were like the flavor of the week because like there wasn't a lot of white dudes in Eagle Rock, like it was all Mexican. It was all Mexican and Filipino, right?
So let me guys ask you a question.
What's up?
When you're stoned,
lovely.
Okay, since we're on topic here on the podcast,
exactly.
And you both have non-Filipino wives. Do you ever feel like eating Filipino food?
Oh, dude, all the time.
What's like your favorite dish to eat?
Dude,
if I was stoned and I could have my favorite Filipino dish, and of like a perfectly deliciously made like my Lola kare-kare.
Yeah.
With that peanut butter, with the oxtail. Oh, man.
Would you say, never mind even Filipino dish, was that your favorite dish to eat?
No.
What's
my favorite dish to eat with weed?
Just to eat, pretty general.
My favorite dish is sushi. I love sushi.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a sushi guy. I love it.
I'm very simple. Like, so like for Filipino food, my favorite, like I love like the tomato-based dishes, like mechado.
Yeah,
I like that. afritada. You know, that's my go-to. Like just that and white rice. Like I'm good.
No, that's fire.
Yeah.
But how about you?
Oh man, sinigang. 100%.
Sinigang? Oh,
yeah,
that's what you brought up. That was your first. So what was the sinigang discussion? That means so sinigang's on the brain. You like.
But
sinigang.
the crazy thing was too is like, you know, and that's why I only ask that because like sometimes like my wife go to, you know, she'll be like, yo, I'll be coming home from like a road and like she's like, you want some sinigang? And she learned how to make it like my mom did and stuff like that.
She doesn't use packets, no, or she's
no, don't use the packets. Everything's fucking. And then she freaking does the like she lets the meat simmer in the water for a while and then does the fucking takes the fat chunks out of the sabao. You know what I mean? Like she steams it out, strains it out. Like, yeah, no, it's good. But the oxtail kare is fire.
Yeah, I love that. I love it, especially with a little bagoong on the side with the rice. Oh,
I think we just lost all our white audience.
We've lost all the white audience. It's all good.
So for all the white people, sinigang is
we signed off a while ago, bro.
No, I'm talking about being because we're all Filipino being stoned. So I wanted to know, like,
you know what's great is like I'm happy to say that like Canada and Chicago are very similar in that
there's very
limited population of Filipinos kind of makes you kind of stick close to your own in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and I feel like I met a lot of Chicago Filipinos, and they're like they have their own swag. You know what I mean? Chicago's like very fashionable, very cool motherfuckers. Well, but also like Chicago's because it's a cold town. It has that like God complex, like Toronto, like New York. Yeah, like everybody's too good for everything. Everybody's too good for everything.
Yeah. Like, bitch, I survived the winter. Just be quiet.
Yeah, or like they come to a comedy show in the winter and they're just there like, all right, make me laugh and like to truck up.
Have you've done shows in Chicago? Yeah,
I've done shows in Chi-Town. I love it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I haven't been there in a while though. I gotta go back.
Well, like you said, come with me in March if you can. Yeah, I'll be there in March.
We're gonna try to, yeah.
Let's stop this and go smoke.
All right, cool, man.
Because we signed off a minute ago. We after
we're just recording.
We just keep recording because we're talking. But
we're smoking and then we do go again.
Yeah.
Downtown Chula Vista on 3rd Ave where I go cop some shit. Fuck a thief, so fuck zoomies. Yeah, they whack ass jacket shit. Yeah, I move too swift, so I striking silence. Fuck the violence, man. Check my mileage, cause I got drive. First tour, I drove 6 states. Never thought I'd be there right by my side, man. What a time it is to be alive. See, I'm charged up, feeling energized, building enterprise. Move supersize, y'all extra like a side of fries. Whoa, false guys who you idolize. Yeah, go against us, I would not advise. We the highest in the room, just look up once and you can find us. Our song should have more plays, but we too though, they rewind us. All my talk is lined up, every day my girl get fined up. All my clothes is local, bitch, I really rock designer.
Gang, highest in the room, yo, we get fucked up. Hey, you can count on Trey, can't bring the loud pack. Hey, get us in the stew and that's game over. Western Metal Building, that's a home run. Yeah, keep the up or leave the fuck a Folgers. Little bitch, I made the beat and dropped the full verse. I just hit a steelo, I got dripped up. Package born and raised, bitch, I got dripped up. Y no se compara. Yo estoy con mi pana, se llama Trigger, fumando ganja. Estamos con Cali, fumando en Cali, yo sé que traen ganas. Ella me dice, papi, que terminamos la cama. Highest in the room, yeah, we get fucked up. Hey, you can count on Trey, can't bring the loud pack. Hey, get us in the stew and that's game over. Western Metal Building, that's a home run.
Yeah, we got hits like Tatis and Machado. Man, we know you're not a leader, cause all our moves you just follow, packing big bowls. You know we just scooped up that gelato, cause I smoke killer. My shirt iller, yo, ask our dealer. We the highest in the room, just look up once and you can find us. Our song should have more plays, but we too though, they rewind us. All my talk is lined up, every day my girl get fined up. All my clothes is local, bitch, I really rock designer.